Hi everyone, this is Neha and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm back with some tragic short, which I mean to say the books I am recommending are plotted in and around the war zone, especially World War II. Yeah, my background is also a bit tragic because we are renovating and I had nowhere to shoot, so I had to come down under construction building for shoot. This is my study. Hopefully I'll shoot more videos down here in future. So let's get back to my books. The stories which I am recommending today are fall into fiction genre, but the amount of pain and the suffering, brutality mentioned in these stories, I wonder how come they fall in fiction. How come anybody can write such pain in fiction? So I don't judge this book. I just believe in them and I pray for those souls whoever have suffered in those war zones. In one of the book I got to know that during 1939 and 1943, 1 million people died due to military action, but 5 million people died by the invaders who tortured and killed many people, and kind of disgusting things happened at those times where they invented the torture by themselves. They were weird torture mentioned in one of the book I'll be later recommending. I couldn't imagine the pain or the suffering. These pain and suffering are the underrated word, I guess. I can't imagine those things. I was literally in disgust and I was just so do they had a choice of death? If they had also, it was very slow and painful. Painful is also, I can say, is an underrated thing. It was actually soul crushing death. Reading these kind of books will really change life. The perception changes, and I myself have evolved as a person, and I don't complain, I don't regret, I accept my mistakes, I forgive myself, and I've realized that maybe I have not got whatever I want, but I have got whatever I need to live a happy life. So without further ado, let's get started. My first book recommendation is, whenever you Google World War book stories, this book pops up, which is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. This is a very interesting tale told by death. If death could talk, what it could say at those times of the war, in the time of war, that has been told. And death tells the story about this girl Liesel, who picks up her first book by the side of her brother's grave, and she doesn't know to read. But when she gets to her foster parent, her father reads this book to her, which is a gravedigger manual. Later on, her father teaches her to read, and she starts picking up books from Nazi book burning and Mayor's library, where her mother provides a laundry service. Books become major part in her life when her parents actually hide a Jewish under basement, and she starts reading for him, and that kind of reading gave him a hope that he could survive through this war zone. And whenever he was ill, she used to read the book, and she got to know that books had the healing capacity. So this is very captivating story. You should grab this book. My second book recommendation is The Kite Runner by Khalid Hussain. Here I would like to take opportunity to thank my friend Prachi for introducing me to Khalid Hussain's writing, because his writing is exuberant craft, and in this book he has saved all the kind of human emotions, be it a friendship, family, lies, redemption. This book tells a story about two boys, Amir, who is a son of wealthy Afghan merchant, and Hassan, who is a servant's son, who is a Hazara. They both share this uncommon friendship where they share their readings, the book readings, and they exchange their thought. But the drift comes in their friendship due to an incident, and later these religious and political affairs takes up a war in Afghan and grew apart. But as they say, life is a circle. Amir has to get back to his homeland for some consequences, where he sees the after effect of war, how his homeland has been destroyed in the process of war. So you grab this book. I'm showing all the images and you are thinking if I am not having the hard copy of these books. Yes, I don't have hard copy. I'm an ebook person. I usually used to read earlier from Kindle. Now I'm reading the books from Anybooks app. I'll leave the link in the description. You can download this app and you can get the free books. There are many books. So ebooks are kind of handy and I can read anywhere I want. So my third book recommendation is The Painted Bird by Jerzy Kosinski. This is the book I was talking about, where they invented the different kind of torture on human, and they experimented the torture which will disgust you actually. This is the word I get when I think of this book. Even the author after writing this book fell into the consequences, and he was mobbed, and later they got to realize that this is the literary must read. The story is about a boy who wanders in forest during war period after the death of his foster parent. He actually wanders from one village to another village for his survival, searching for the place to stay. But he learns there's some practices and he sees some things which actually changes his life, because when he gets back to his parent after war, he is not interested in this normal life at all. So he is called the Painted Bird, who is come back. My fourth recommendation is The Last Train to Istanbul by Asin Kulin. This story starts in 1941 in Ankara, Turkey. It's a family come love drama story. It starts with these two sisters, Saiba and Selva. Saiba has a logical perspective about life and Selva is passionate. As usual, passion gets you in trouble. Selva falls in love with the Jewish, and without her father doesn't approve it, and she has to go to Paris. And that's when the war is going on in Paris, and they are hunting for Jewish. So here in this story, salute the guts of the diplomats, Turkish diplomats in Paris and in Istanbul, where they takes up the charge to take the Turkish, not only Turkish Jewish but Jewish to Istanbul. The carriage full of Jewish is crossing the borderline of German. This kind of a movie thriller, whenever the train stops, it will be like your heart stops. German soldiers will get in and they'll pull up all the Jewish and they take them to concentration camp. But thankfully, with all the twists and turns in the plot, they get back to Istanbul. My last recommendation is The Diary of Young Girl by Anne Frank. This book is a diary which is written by Anne Frank when they had to fly to Amsterdam during the war zone. They had to hide themselves for 2 years in an old office building, and Anne Frank, being a 13-year-old girl, has written this diary, and the whatever they have gone through in their hiding time. She wanted this to be published, and after obviously she didn't make it through the war. So after this book is published, let me know how did you find my recommendation. And I have a Facebook page which is Quest for Knowledge. There also you can share whatever you are reading, your thoughts, or any podcast you are listening to. That's all for today, and as usual, like, comment, share and subscribe. I need subscriber, guys. Please do subscribe to my channel. Stay happy, stay healthy. Hakuna Matata. Bye.